My early association with Memorial Hospital came about as a result of being appointed to the board. At the time, I was the general manager of the Red Jacket, which at the time, and still is, one of the largest employers in town. And so I had visibility, and I was invited to join the board. The tenor of the Times during the time that I served was a community that was beginning to mature. The shift came in the late 70s and early 80s. Our hospital was very much a rural hospital serving a rural community that was subject to intense seasonality, basically summertime, fall, and winter. In between times, there was very little activity. The ski industry was the major source of income for the hospital and for the limited number of orthopedic doctors that we had. And it is well known in this community that in the late 60s and early 70s, women were induced to have babies on Monday and Tuesday, literally, so that physician could be available on the weekend to set bones. So you can see how critical broken bones were to this hospital. The most difficult challenges when I became board chair was, in retrospect, was when the hospital employed its first hospital-based orthopedic surgeon. And there was a misunderstanding, clearly in retrospect, about the nature of what that relationship was to be, particularly in terms of what the then orthopedic surgeon thought that his rights and privileges were here, in terms, candidly, of what happened on the weekends when the good stuff came in and who was going to get it. The occasion included being indeed the headline story in the Boston Globe. And I said to my wife, I said, I can't believe this, but you realize that we've driven Nixon and the Vietnam War off the front page, at least for a day. If you don't think that was enough, we were also, as a result of our conflict with the orthopedic surgeon, we were sued for $100 million, which is a little more than I could really comprehend. But it was our wonderful attorney, Peter Hastings, who, at one of the preliminary hearings, put it in context when he said, Your Honor, $100 million? That's more than the whole town is worth north of the Boston and Maine, where it crosses in Conway. I think I was able to set a tone and an atmosphere to protect our community-based trustees in the onslaught that we faced, to see it through. And to see this hospital emerge as the quality caring place that it is today, ready, if you will, for the next century. You know, it seems funny to be standing here today, 30-some years afterwards, at the entrance to what we now call the old Memorial Hospital. And you know, we talk about how technology changes, and I can indeed recall going in here, as I said, and going into a room with a white metal iron bed, and all white sheets, and all nurses in total white. And yet, you know, the thing that's so critical, as it was then, as it is now, is the quality of the care and the caring of the care. And so whether we are in electric remote-controlled beds or in iron metal beds, it's really all the same, isn't it? It has to do with a caring community.